All right, now we're heading off to the gateway to the west to visit the Enterprise Center. This is Rinks around the league. Let's go. Hey there, and welcome back to Rinks around the league. I'm your host, Jeff Nash. Now in this episode, we're off to St. Louis, Missouri to visit the Enterprise Center, home of the St. Louis Blues of the NHL. Construction of Enterprise Center started on December 14th, 1992, and it opened on October 8th, 1994 at a cost of $196 million. The rink was mostly privately financed, with $156 million coming from private funding and $39 million coming from public funds. Its seating capacity is 18,724. Its scoreboard measures 29.5 by 22.25 feet. Its seating capacity is 18,724. And on July 1st, 2018, Enterprise took over the naming rights in a 15-year deal, but terms were not disclosed. Average secondary ticket price ranks them 26th in the league at $100. Now, Enterprise Center is in the process of a 3-year renovation, which includes a total revamp of their suite and main concourse levels, scoreboard, bowl seating, and a new paint scheme on the interior of the building. This 3-phase reno is scheduled to be complete in 2019. And all these renovations have taken place since my last visit to Enterprise Center, so I'm only going to really speak from my experience from my last time there. Now, Enterprise Center is located basically downtown St. Louis. It's a short walk from the main core. One thing I noticed walking the main concourse was a nice memorial to Pavel Demitra and Igor Korolev, both former Blues players. Demitra and Korolev were former players that died in the tragic locomotive plane crash in 2011 in Yaroslav, Russia. The entire Russian team and staff were killed in that tragic accident. They also have a few more displays of player memorabilia. My favorite is the Cujo mask and Cujo pads. Those were pretty iconic. When you walk in the bowl, they have a pretty unique collection of banners. From retired players, the likes of Al McInnes, Brett Hull, Bernie Federico, to name a few. And speaking of those retired players, they also have some pretty impressive statues outside of these iconic Blues players, just outside the front entrance of Enterprise. The last time I was there, they had these kind of purple blue seats that kind of match the Blues branding, but they're phasing those ones out, replacing those with black seats. And although unpopular to some, I will say that the colored seats did come across as kind of drabby after the wear and tear of the years gone by. They've also painted over the blue and yellow scheme that was once up in the roof to more of a neutral gray color. And I guess if you're changing out the colors of the seats, you might as well add a fresh coat of paint to match them, I guess. One cool thing about the in-game presentation is that the LED lights that light the ice surface are actually controllable one panel at a time. So this means they can do this kind of cool strobe lighting effect where it just kind of circles around the whole building. I believe Ottawa does this too, but I really noticed it in St. Louis. They did a good job controlling that. Another cool thing they do in St. Louis is they play the song when the Saints go marching in after every goal. This, of course, is a St. Louis tradition, and it's gone on for a long time. It's kind of old school, but kind of adds an element of hockey tradition to that building. Now, what do I like about Enterprise Center? It's a great rink. I like the fact that they're renovating it and breathing some fresh air into it with new seats, new scoreboard, new paint, updating their food and bev options. Plus, I have to say the environment's pretty good. Blues fans know their hockey. It's been a staple in that city for a long time. And generally speaking, the Blues have iced some pretty competitive teams. And the city of St. Louis is kind of an underrated city. It's got some cool spots and some amazing barbecue. But with that, is there anything I don't like about Enterprise? Like most rinks, there's not much to complain about. I'm sure they'll fix and update all the things that I may not like about it. They could probably use an updated team store, but again, they may have updated this, so Blues fans, let me know. Do they have a new team store? The one they used to have was a decent size, it had a lot of merch in it, but it definitely had an old look to it. And inside the rink, they could use something a little bit more. I can't really put my finger on it, so Blues fans, let me know if there's anything that you would add to the building, but it just needs just one more element inside that bowl. Most rinks nowadays have something that really defines them. Little Caesars has the roof that lights up. Madison Square Garden has the iconic circle roof. Montreal, all those banners. Tampa Bay, those gigantic Tesla coils. St. Louis? I don't know, maybe the goal song? I just think they need that extra little something that really defines that rink. But That's just my opinion. In conclusion, the Enterprise Center is a pretty good rink set inside an older city that's trying to revitalize itself. They're in the process of wrapping up all those renovations, which will definitely elevate that rink with all these modern touches. It does, however, lack that defining quality that would set it apart from the rest of the league. But luckily, the city has a lot of options to keep you occupied to make that trip memorable. And that does it for this episode on the Enterprise Center. Blues fans, let me know. What do you like about Enterprise Center? Is there anything you would add? On the next episode, we're off to the Shark Tank in San Jose, California to visit the SAP Center, home of the San Jose Sharks. As always, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at _the_Rinks, on Facebook at the Rinks, and on YouTube at Rinks Around the League. Hit subscribe and ring that bell. St. Louis actually has a lot to offer. There's lots to do there. Their ballpark looks amazing. The city museum is pretty cool. They have amazing barbecue, ribs, delicious. And they have the Gateway Arch, which is an impressive structure. And what I didn't know until I actually went to St. Louis is you can actually go up inside that arch all the way to the top inside and look out the windows at the top. I had no idea, but it's pretty cool.